Breaking news on the Occupy Wall Street saga. The clock is actually ticking to an early morning confrontation between the New York Police Department and the demonstrators. Hi, everybody. I'm David Asman. Thanks for watching. New York's Mayor Bloomberg ordering the demonstrators out of Zuccotti Park so it can be cleaned up. They can come back, but they're not going to be allowed to bring their sleeping bags or their tents back in when they return. But word is this evening that the protesters are not leaving. They don't like the conditions, and now they plan a special protest at 6 a.m., just an hour before the police are set to move them out. Fox Business will be there live with special coverage. And these protests continue to spread. Tonight, new evidence. There are some activists within the groups engineering a lot of the move toward violence. Andrew Breitbart has been looking into this and joins us now. Andrew, great to see you. First of all, there's a woman named Lisa Fithian. Who is Lisa Fithian?
Well, Lisa Fithian has been everywhere around the world trying to create destabilization of global markets and global governments. She was all the way back at the WTO, anti-WTO stuff in 1999 in Seattle. Lisa Fithian was also the person behind the scenes organizing Camp Casey for Cindy Sheehan. And she's, as you see her, she's chanting here. This is classic left-wing agitprop. This is how they talk at these far-left anarchist socialist
it's a weird, for those who aren't familiar with it, it's a weird sort of play that the speaker has with the audience where they're only allowed to say about 5 words, and then the audience repeats the 5 words, and then sometimes it takes so long that the person who's supposed to speak doesn't have a chance to, or the person following. But let me just quote for the audience something that this woman said once for the International Socialist Review. This was a couple of years ago. She said, "I have no issue with property destruction." She's talking about demonstrations now. I think sometimes it is appropriate. Sometimes it's not. Again, I look at it strategically. Does this help us or does it hurt us? Does it help achieve our goal or does it not? We are in a society where property is idealized. So a lot of people don't get it yet that it doesn't really matter. It's just glass or products. I mean, this is the way this woman thinks of property. And as we await what they're going to do at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, we got to expect, since she's in there, in the crowd, that they may be doing something violent or have something violent planned.
They're trying to act like this is utterly grassroots, that it came out of nowhere. But Lisa Fithian has been organizing these type of rallies, putting together anarchist groups, socialist groups, pro-Palestinian groups, bringing the union. She's worked directly with unions such as SEIU in the past. That's exactly what you're seeing here. And we are going to be breaking at big government within the next, tonight. We're going to be breaking something that's like journalists, that it's a bunch of radical left-wing activists, including Lisa Fithian, organizing in a Google group where they're openly talking in this email chain predating the September 17th beginning of the Occupy Wall Street event. Starting on September 14th, we have emails, thousands of them, that show how they are attempting to organize the destabilization of the U.S. government and global markets.
Well, at the very least, we know that she's been involved in ruckuses before. In Seattle, those WTO riots in Seattle. She was a part of that, defended that, didn't she?
Yeah, look, she's been everywhere. Wherever you see radical left-wing agitation and violence, Lisa Fithian is always there.
Of course, we have to say that when she has been interviewed in the past couple of days by New York One and other local broadcasts, she's always saying, no, we're peaceful. We have nothing but peaceful intention. She's trying to portray herself as a completely peaceful protester.
Well, there is explosive audio that I have heard where she advocates for violence, and that shall be coming out soon, I'm under the impression. She is a global agitator. She's a defender of the group that was caught about to Molotov cocktail the Republican National Convention in the year 2008. An FBI informant, a radical left-wing informant, by the name of Brandon Darby, put two men in prison that Lisa Fithian supports, that were planning on using Molotov cocktails on Republicans in 2008.
I remember the incident, and it was a big incident. She actually spoke out about him, calling him a traitor to the cause, et cetera, for coming out with this information that he had. Bottom line, though, you look at what's happening with the voter impression of Wall Street protests so far. So far, things haven't gotten totally out of control. There was an incident in Boston, and there were 700 arrests here in the Brooklyn Bridge. But so far, 36% or 37% of the American people polled by the Wall Street Journal said they actually support the cause. That is the cause as of now, what they know of what the protesters are protesting. Is that going to change if things get violent, or if people like her really take charge of this group?
Well, the mainstream media wants to portray this as the liberals and the Democratic parties and Barack Obama's Tea Party. And so what they're trying to do is change the onus of the focus of the problem of the bailouts, which everybody agrees is a problem, or most people agree. Right. They're trying to change the onus from the origins of the policies, which is the government, to the recipients of the money, which is the banks and the corporations. They're trying to change the onus from Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, John Boehner, and Harry Reid.
Of course, the irony here, Andrew, is that some of the biggest recipients of government money recently have been friends of Barack Obama. You look at Solyndra, you look at George Kaiser, the Obama fundraisers who's got all that money for the green projects. They don't complain much about that, do they?
Isn't that ironic? I mean, that's how orchestrated this is, and that's why Nancy Pelosi is saying, God bless these protesters, because they're trying to change the subject away from Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama's, being behind why our economy is so bad and why our jobs situation is so bad in this country.
All right. Well, we will look for those emails on biggovernment.com. Andrew Breitbart, the woman is Lisa Fithian, and we'd be happy to have her on to try to defend some of those remarks anytime she wants. Thank you very much, Andrew. Appreciate it.
Thank you, David.
Well, our own John Stossel went down to the protest.